So an attempted cyber attack has happened on the United States Treasury. All right, this is very dangerous, very concerning that this has happened, because what's next? Are banks next too? Apparently, according to this report, there was cyber attacks on some banks too, some major banks as well. So big things are happening. What happens when this cyber attack is used as the excuse to shut down the banking system? Okay, and it could be a real cyber attack too. I'm not saying those don't exist, but cyber attacks are one of these things that are so prime for there to be someone else that did it and it's blamed. You know what I mean? It's easy to make it look like someone else did it or someone else didn't do it or whatever. It's one of these things that are very sketchy in nature. So having a cyber attack hanging over our head is very dangerous. And now they're coming out and saying that cyber attacks have happened on the United States Treasury Department. Very serious, all right? So let's dive into this. And just a few months ago, all right, it says this: at least 5 U.S. energy companies and 8 others spanning critical infrastructure sectors have experienced, quote, abnormal scanning from quote, Russian-linked IP addresses, the FBI said. So that was in March 2022. And they were saying that our energy infrastructure was also being scanned, and it has the potential to have cyber attacks on it. All right, the FBI also warned months ago of the potential of cyber attacks on our food supply in critical moments. So when farmers are harvesting, when farmers are processing their meats, they were saying they could experience cyber attacks at these critical moments. So their grains spoil or their meat spoil, and they can't use their infrastructure right when they need it, right when they're harvesting, right when they're trying to get stuff on the cart or whatever, or trying to get it, get the meat butchered. They could be hit with cyber attacks. And they were saying that one of the biggest seed companies in the United States was hit with a cyber attack last year when companies were planting, right? So this could happen anywhere, anytime, on any part of our infrastructure. But they are saying that this happened to the U.S. Treasury Department. So, and they are warning that this could happen to banks and stuff as well. And they're sharing this information with financial institutions so they can know what to look for to be better prepared just in case happens to them. So this is a headline. It says U.S. Treasury thwarted attack by Russian hacker group last month, officials. So that's what they're saying. This is them, right? They're saying it was a pro-Russian hacker group, right? So that's the official narrative out of Reuters. And it says the U.S. Treasury Department last month repelled cyber attacks by a pro-Russian hacker group, preventing disruption and confirming the effectiveness of the department's stronger approach to financial system cybersecurity. All right, so I guess it's good that they did repel it, but it's also just very sketchy, very dangerous that things like this could happen at any moment, honestly. It's like you could be the middle of the day and there could be a cyber attack on the Treasury Department or some kind of financial institution, and you could be, the dollar could be locked out, you could be locked out of your bank. All these different things could happen at a moment's notice. All right, it says this also comes as several U.S. state websites and airports were disrupted by cyber attacks as well in October. I was reporting that how a lot of the top airports in the United States were experiencing cyber attacks on their websites and having their websites shut down so people could not make purchases for their plane tickets. So this is just a big sign, and we need to be prepared for this, okay? And it says JP Morgan Chase also reported that they had cyber attacks on their infrastructure. They said it didn't affect any operations, but it said on October 11th, there was reported cyber attacks on JP Morgan Chase network infrastructure, okay? So we could see this happen at any bank, anytime. And what happens if it's your bank? What happens if you go to your bank or you try to use your card and the networks have been disrupted? The networks have been taken over for your bank. What if the terminal can't communicate with your bank and tell the terminal how much money is in your bank account? Okay, these types of things could easily happen, and I feel like the cybersecurity is just so low. Like a terminal at a gas station, I'm sure that is not the most secure thing. I'm sure it's very easy to get the data out of this if somebody wanted to. And not to mention the banks, okay? What if somebody got everyone's banking information, right? Financial information. What if they hacked a major US bank and had everyone's social security, bank account numbers, routing information? They could cause chaos in a moment's notice. They could just mix the whole board, start sending money left and right to all different types of places and cause total chaos, cause a total freeze on our financial system, right? On our banking system. That could be next, right? We could see a massive cyber attack on our financial system, and then we could see a takeover of it. But the solution that they're giving is just to digitalize money more, to have things like FedCoin, to make money just more, in the ether. It's not real. But then it's just more vulnerable to these cyber attacks. It's more vulnerable to hacking. It's more vulnerable to tracking. It's more vulnerable to all these different things that we don't want for our monetary system. That's kind of the problem with Bitcoin and blockchain and all this stuff, is that it is tracked, okay? Everything is tracked and traced. I mean, that's kind of good, you know where it's coming from, but I mean, technically everything is tracked and traced. It has to be packed in these blocks, and it has to know where it's coming from. I understand there's, you can be semi-anonymous on it, but at the end of the day, I feel like if the government wanted to figure out who owns what wallet or who sent what money to what wallet or whatever, I feel like they could easily figure out this information. Isn't it public information? Like, isn't this public? Doesn't everybody know this? I feel like it's also a vulnerability too. That's what I'm saying too, is to have everything digital. And what happens when the grid goes down or things are hacked or your wallet's hacked or things like this? It's a risk having everything being digitized, all right? And we saw a semi-bank run on a German bank, or no, I think it was a Swiss bank. Sorry about that. Just last month, they went under their reserve quota for cash reserves that they're supposed to have in case people need to get money out the bank, because so many people went to the bank and got their money out at once. So banking institutions are very vulnerable. I don't want them to be. I want them to be strong. I have my money in a bank. I'm not saying, like, who doesn't have their money in a bank? Everybody has money in the bank. You have to have a bank account to operate in a modern world. So I want them to be secure as possible, safe as possible. That's what I want. I want a solution to this problem. So let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you think is next for this. All right, US Treasury is reporting that they thwarted a hack attack, but what happens when they don't thwart it? What happens when the big one comes? That was probably just a test to see how they would respond. You know what I mean? Countries are always testing each other, always testing each other's responses to see what would happen in a real scenario. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you have some cash in your wallet too. You never know, guys. You never know. And you guys have a big old blessed day.